We're at Stevens High School visiting with their head wrestling coach, Travis King. Travis, congratulations on another great year of Stevens Raiders wrestling.
Yeah, Dwight, thanks. It was another great year. Each week was a challenge with the pandemic going on and trying to keep your kids as healthy and focused and ready to go.
Take us through the season, Travis, from the beginning up into the state tournament.
Well, this year, I guess, out of my 6 years and the years I've been around was a little bit different because our school in particular was out of school from November 3rd to the 30th. So the first day back was 2 weeks into the season, and that was our first day of wrestling season. So we were a couple weeks behind the rest of the state, just the way that the pandemic was shaping out at that moment. But our kids, we came back, battled right through, had a great start at the Rapid Invite. We ended up, slowly getting better all year, so I was really proud of these guys because, at the beginning of the year, they were seated in the 4, 5, 6 rankings, and we climbed all the way back where we had a push for another title.
Coach, 3 years ago, you finished second in the state, and then back-to-back team championships, second again this year. That's a great consistency, more than just having the luck, having a few good wrestlers in 1 year. But what does it take to produce a top team every year?
Dwight, we've been really fortunate having a lot of help from our youth club and, our school support. One thing I did when I came in 6 years ago was really focus on the sub-varsity level and make sure all those guys were going to be taken care of and learning that way when they got their opportunities on the varsity that they wouldn't have to worry about the experiences and that they could just come in and produce for us. And we had Riley Benson at 152 pounds last year. He was the sub-varsity starter, the number 2 guy, and this year he ends up being state champ 12 months later. So things like that are what's keeping us right up there toward the top.
And Travis, how about the state tournament this year, the placers and state champions?
Well, Dwight, we had a great year. We finished with the most kids on the podium. We had 10 kids this year that achieved the medal rounds. 106, Evan Ekholm, he was 8th place. He had a great year. He's a first-year starter. 113, we just missed there with Jack Schoenhardt. He was the runner-up this year to the kid from T. Kind of been our nemesis, but we battled real hard there, just fell short. At 120 pounds, we had state champ Logan Graf. He was also the outstanding wrestler of the weekend. He just had a phenomenal year this year for the Raiders, and we can't say enough good things about him. He'll be back one more year. 132 pounds, we had Jacob McCormick. He's a junior. Once again, Jacob came back from an injury last year and worked his way back, had a tough first day of the tournament, but came all the way back and got 5th place. 138, we had a Quarter Doney. He's a 10th grader, 2nd-year starter, and he really just came on the last 5, 6 weeks of the season and ended up wrestling higher than his seed. At 145, we ended up 6th with Brian Rosales. Brian wrestled an extremely good weekend for us, made the semis, just missed there. Had a couple tough calls in the wrestlebacks, but ended up as a 6th place finisher. 152, we had state champ Riley Benson. Like I said, he was, a number 2 seed that just had a phenomenal year. He ended up wrestling the Watertown kid in the finals. That was their 5th time wrestling. Our 2 losses was to him, and he had 3 losses to us and the state finals, so that was a big one for us. 160 was senior Tyler Voorhees. He capped off his wrestling career with a 4th place finish. He was in a tight battle, just missed, but he ended up 4th for that 3rd and 4th place. Then we had a 195-pound Ryan Brink. He made it back to the finals, wrestled one of the toughest kids in the state, ended up finishing right where we were seated at 2. We thought we had a shot there, but just missed. And then at 220 pounds, we had Eli Hewitt, was first-time place winner for the Raiders, 2-year starter. And once again, he's a senior, and he had a heck of a year. He was our heavyweight last year, came down to 220, worked his tail off, and ended up with 8th place in the results. So we had a great season. You know, I was proud of these guys finishing second. You know, Brandon Valley nipped us on Friday afternoon in the semifinal round. They had a great round. They won a couple in overtime and some tightly contested matches. And, you know, those are 7 and 8 point wins in that part of the tournament. So that was kind of the difference of the 20 points is we had 4 finalists and they ended up with 6. So, but, you know, that's hats off to Coach Outland and his crew down in Brandon. You know, that's the first state title in the history of that school, you know, and I feel part with him. You know, he's a former Raider here, 1994 kid I wrestled with. So he's doing great things in Brandon, and we'll be ready next year to fight him again because they're not going anywhere.
And Travis, how about the girls on the Raiders team?
You know, Dwight, this year we had 2 senior girls, Paige Denke and Celeste Ketchick. You know, 2 great girls that came in. They moved in with the pandemic, both of them. You know, we lost some girls from the year before. I think part of it was we didn't have any of the sign-up time and any tryout period. You know, I look forward to having a bigger girls squad, but the 2 girls we had were, you know, great quality, great parts, great importance to this team, you know. They ended up being in the same weight class. Celeste ended up losing in the semifinals, came back and got 3rd place at the 124 bracket. And we also had our first female state champion, Paige Denke. She's also a senior. Both those girls will be wrestling college at the next level, and we'll be following them. And, you know, we're really excited about the future Raider wrestling for the girls.
You know, all the wrestling coaches around the area saying the same thing, that sport's going to grow.
Yeah, you know, I've been warning everybody that I've been here. This is, like I said, my 6th season, and, you know, every year I've been here, I've had girls on the team. This is the first year that they've got to compete against their own. You know, last year we had 6 girls on the team, you know, and I've sent girls down to different tournaments when they've been all girls at different moments in my career here, you know, and I've been pushing our state for girls wrestling. You know, high school sports has a little bit of a decline in participation, and girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the world. Theirs is going straight up. So, I mean, we had 90 girls this year, and you wait in 3 years, Dwight, you'll see South Dakota with hundreds of girls competing in the high schools. So it's just like all the other sports. It's no different than the basketball or the track or any of the other team sports that we have. So we're real excited about it. You know, we're already kind of putting some of those future plans on paper, where we'd like them, how we would like to get a schedule set, how we can get those guys to compete for state titles. So it'll be here before you know it.
Well, Travis, we appreciate you taking time to visit about Raider wrestling.
Yes, thank you, Dwight. You know, we always are fortunate to have guys like you put us out there. You know, as much publicity as we can get for you guys and for us is great. You know, I truly believe in the sport of wrestling, and Raider wrestling is right where my blood and my passion is. So we're looking forward to another great season.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.